How to build an undefeatable character, the Stoics way, Stoicism for modern life. The obstacle is the way. This powerful insight from Marcus Aurelius is not just a phrase, it's a mindset that can completely transform the way you approach life's challenges. Welcome to Stoic in Your Life, where we embark on a journey to understand how to build an undefeatable character through the enduring wisdom of Stoicism, perfectly tailored for the complexities of modern life. In this video, we're going to dive deep into the teachings of the Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, and explore how their wisdom can help you build a character that is truly undefeatable. We'll look at practical strategies you can apply to your daily life to cultivate resilience, inner peace, and a sense of purpose that remains unshaken by external circumstances. So, if you're ready to develop a character that can withstand any storm, to find peace in the midst of chaos, and to live a life of true fulfillment, then stay tuned. Together, we'll explore the timeless teachings of Stoicism and learn how to apply them to our everyday lives. This journey promises not just knowledge, but a complete shift in how you perceive and handle life's inevitable challenges. Let's get started on building an undefeatable character, the Stoic way. Lesson 1. Cultivating a strong mindset. To truly develop an undefeatable character, you must first immerse yourself in the essence of Stoicism, a philosophy that has stood the test of time for over 2 millennia. Imagine being in the midst of a storm, winds howling, rain pouring, the world around you in chaos, and yet within, there is a stillness, an unshakable calm. This is the kind of resilient mindset that Stoicism fosters, a mindset that equips you to face the inevitable turbulence of life with grace and fortitude. The core of Stoicism revolves around a simple yet profound principle: the recognition of what is within our control and what is not. The Stoics teach us that our thoughts, actions, and reactions are entirely within our domain, while everything else, other people's opinions, the outcome of events, the nature of the world, lies beyond our control. By deeply internalizing this truth, we free ourselves from the tyranny of external circumstances. No longer are we at the mercy of life's unpredictability, but rather, we become the masters of our inner world. When you understand that you cannot control what happens to you, but can always control how you respond, you unlock a power that is both liberating and empowering. This doesn't mean that Stoics advocate for the suppression of emotions or the denial of life's challenges. On the contrary, Stoicism encourages us to face our emotions and obstacles head-on, with a mindset that is calm, clear, and courageous. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who was also one of the most revered Stoic philosophers, embodied this approach. He believed that true strength lies not in attempting to bend the world to our will, but in accepting the world as it is, and directing our energies toward what we can change, ourselves. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength, he once said, encapsulating the essence of Stoic resilience. To cultivate such resilience in modern life, one must practice self-discipline and rationality, especially in the face of adversity. The world today is filled with distractions, uncertainties, and pressures that can easily lead one astray. Yet, by anchoring yourself in Stoic principles, you develop the mental toughness needed to navigate these challenges without losing your inner peace. When a colleague criticizes you, when a plan falls apart, or when you face a personal loss, remember that your reaction is within your control. Will you choose to react with anger, frustration, or despair? Or will you choose to respond with calm, acceptance, and determination? The choice is always yours, and in that choice lies your power. Moreover, the practice of focusing on what you can control, your thoughts and actions, and letting go of what you cannot is not just a philosophical exercise, it is a practical strategy for modern life. In a world where so much seems uncertain and beyond our influence, this approach can be a source of immense strength. It teaches us to conserve our mental and emotional energy for the things that truly matter, rather than wasting it on futile attempts to control the uncontrollable. This doesn't mean apathy or indifference, but rather a focused, purposeful engagement with life. In your day-to-day life, this might look like setting clear intentions for how you want to respond to challenges, whether they come in the form of a demanding work situation, a strained relationship, or even global events. Instead of being swept away by the tide of circumstances, you can stand firm, guided by the Stoic understanding that your peace of mind is not for the world to give or take away. It is yours to cultivate and protect. As Epictetus, another great Stoic philosopher, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This Stoic approach is especially relevant in today's fast-paced, often chaotic world. With the constant bombardment of news, social media, and societal expectations, it's easy to feel overwhelmed or out of control. However, by practicing the Stoic discipline of focusing on what you can control, your own thoughts, decisions, and actions, you reclaim your power and reinforce your character. You learn to view challenges not as insurmountable obstacles but as opportunities to exercise and strengthen your inner resolve. And here lies the essence of building an undefeatable character. It is not about being invulnerable to the trials of life, but about becoming someone who can face these trials with unwavering strength and grace. By aligning your mindset with Stoic principles, you develop a resilience that is not only practical but transformative. You become less swayed by external events, more grounded in your values, and more capable of maintaining your inner peace in the face of whatever life throws your way. Remember, the key is to focus on what you can control and to let go of everything else. As Seneca wisely noted, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. By mastering your mind, you master your life, and in doing so, you build a character that is truly undefeatable. Lesson 2. Accepting Transience. When we talk about building an undefeatable character through Stoicism, one of the most profound lessons we can learn is the art of embracing impermanence. At the heart of Stoic philosophy lies the understanding that everything in life is transient. Our possessions, our relationships, even our very lives are not permanent fixtures. This isn't just a philosophical musing, it's a practical approach to living a resilient life. Consider this. How often do we find ourselves paralyzed by the fear of loss, be it the potential loss of a job, a loved one, or even our own health? This fear often stems from an illusion that these things will last forever, or that we can somehow control their permanence. The Stoics, however, teach us that by accepting the reality of impermanence, we can free ourselves from the anxiety that comes with trying to hold on to what cannot be held. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most revered Stoic philosophers, would often remind himself that life is but a fleeting moment. He urged himself, and us by extension, not to get too attached to material possessions or specific outcomes, because they are, by nature, temporary. This isn't to say that we should be indifferent to the people or things we care about, but rather that we should recognize the natural course of life. Detachment in this context doesn't equate to apathy. Instead, it's about understanding that clinging too tightly to anything impermanent only sets us up for suffering when it inevitably changes or fades away. Imagine you're holding a handful of sand. The tighter you grip it, the more it slips through your fingers. But if you hold it gently, acknowledging that you cannot keep it forever, you'll notice that you can appreciate it more in the moment. This metaphor is a reflection of how we should approach the things in our lives. By embracing their impermanence, we actually allow ourselves to experience them more fully, without the overshadowing fear of loss. Take, for instance, a story from modern life. Picture someone who has dedicated years to building a successful career, pouring everything into it. Time, energy, and even sacrificing personal relationships along the way. Then, suddenly, due to circumstances beyond their control, they lose it all. This is a situation that could devastate anyone, leaving them feeling lost and without purpose. But what if this person had approached their career with the understanding that it was never a permanent fixture? What if they had built their identity not around their job title, but around the qualities that made them good at their job: resilience, creativity, hard work? By embracing the idea that their career, like everything else, was impermanent, they could have faced this loss with a different mindset. Instead of being crushed, they might see it as an opportunity to apply those same qualities to a new venture, a new chapter in life. The loss would still be painful, no doubt, but it wouldn't be devastating because they would understand that nothing was truly lost, only transformed. This brings us to a critical point in the Stoic lesson. By accepting the transient nature of life, we cultivate an inner strength that remains unshaken by the inevitable changes and losses we will encounter. When we stop trying to control the uncontrollable, we release ourselves from unnecessary suffering. Life, in its essence, is a series of beginnings and endings, each moment passing into the next. The Stoics encourage us to live fully in each of these moments, appreciating them for what they are, without being consumed by the fear of their passing. Now let's bring this idea closer to home. Think about a personal experience where you feared losing something or someone. How did that fear affect your actions? Did it make you more anxious, less present? What if instead, you had acknowledged the impermanence of the situation from the start? How might that have changed your experience? Would you have been more at peace, more capable of appreciating the moment for what it was? The Stoic approach to impermanence is not about denying our emotions or pretending that loss doesn't hurt. It's about understanding that our attachment to permanence is what often magnifies our suffering. By embracing impermanence, we learn to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and resilience. We become less fearful of change and more open to the new opportunities that come with it. This doesn't mean that life will always be easy or that we won't face challenges, but it does mean that we can face those challenges with a stronger, more grounded character. So what can we take away from this Stoic lesson on impermanence? First, recognize that everything in life is temporary. This is not a reason to despair, but a reason to live more fully in the present. Second, understand that by letting go of the need to control the uncontrollable, we free ourselves from unnecessary anxiety and suffering. And finally, use this acceptance as a tool to build an inner strength that is truly undefeatable, a strength that allows you to move through life's inevitable changes with a calm, resilient spirit. By embracing impermanence, we don't just survive the challenges of life, we thrive through them. Now, how will you apply this understanding of impermanence to your own life? How might it change the way you approach the things you care about, knowing that they are not forever? Lesson 3: The Power of Self-Control. Picture you're standing at the crossroads of life, faced with countless choices, each pulling you in different directions. Some are driven by fleeting pleasures, others by deep-seated fears. How do you navigate this complex landscape without losing yourself? The Stoics believe that the answer lies in mastering self-control, particularly over your desires and emotions. This is the essence of building an undefeatable character, a person who stands firm like a rock amidst the chaos of life. But what does self-control really mean? And how can you apply it to your own life? Let's start with a simple truth. Uncontrolled desires and emotions are often the root of human suffering. They can lead us to make hasty decisions, chase after things that don't truly matter, and react impulsively in ways we later regret. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, knew this well. He advised practicing temperance and moderation, encouraging us to be constantly aware of our impulses. He believed that if we can recognize our desires for what they are, temporary and often irrational, we can prevent them from controlling us. Have you ever found yourself craving something so intensely, only to feel empty or regretful once you've obtained it? This is exactly what the Stoics warned against. The momentary pleasure of giving in to desire often fades quickly, leaving us with nothing but a sense of loss or dissatisfaction. So, how can we break this cycle? The first step is to cultivate awareness. Be mindful of what you're feeling and why. Are you seeking pleasure because you're unhappy with something in your life? Are you afraid of something that may never happen? The Stoics teach us to question these emotions and desires, to examine their roots. By doing so, we can begin to see them for what they truly are, temporary states of mind that don't have to define us. This practice of self-awareness is the foundation of self-control. It's about recognizing that you have a choice in how you respond to your emotions and desires. You don't have to be a slave to them. You can choose to act in ways that align with your deeper values and long-term goals, rather than being driven by immediate gratification. But self-control isn't just about restraining yourself from indulging in pleasures. It's also about how you handle negative emotions like anger, jealousy, and fear. These emotions can be just as destructive, if not more so, than unchecked desires. When you're angry, how do you react? Do you lash out, say things you don't mean, or let the anger fester inside you? The Stoics would advise you to take a step back and observe your anger. Where is it coming from? Is it really worth the energy you're giving it? By understanding the source of your anger, you can begin to diffuse it, responding with reason rather than raw emotion. The same goes for jealousy and fear. Jealousy often arises from a sense of inadequacy, from comparing ourselves to others. But what if, instead of letting jealousy consume you, you used it as a prompt to reflect on your own values and goals? Are you jealous because you truly want what someone else has, or because society has conditioned you to believe you should? Fear, too, can be a powerful force in our lives, but often it is based on imagined scenarios rather than reality. The Stoics remind us to confront our fears head-on, to ask ourselves what is the worst that could happen, and whether it is something we can endure. More often than not, we find that our fears are exaggerated, and by facing them, we take away their power over us. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This quote encapsulates the Stoic approach to self-control. It's not about suppressing your emotions or denying your desires. It's about understanding them, seeing them for what they are, and choosing to act in a way that aligns with your true self. It's about realizing that you can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. This is where true strength lies, not in dominating others or achieving external success, but in mastering yourself. Consider this. How often do you let your emotions dictate your actions? How often do you regret decisions made in the heat of the moment? What would your life look like if you could consistently make choices based on reason rather than impulse? The Stoics believed that by mastering self-control, you align your actions with reason, leading to a life of greater stability and inner peace. But this is not something that happens overnight. It requires practice, patience, and a commitment to growth. So where do you start? Begin by observing your emotions and desires without judgment. When you feel a strong urge or emotion, pause and ask yourself why you're feeling this way. What is driving this reaction? Is it aligned with your values and long-term goals? If not, what can you do to redirect your energy towards something more meaningful? This practice of self-inquiry is at the heart of Stoic self-control. It's not about denying yourself pleasure or suppressing your emotions. It's about making conscious choices that reflect who you truly are, rather than being swept away by the tides of impulse. The power of self-control lies in its ability to free you from the chains of desire and emotion. It allows you to live with intention, to act with purpose, and to find peace amidst the chaos of life. But remember, this is a journey, not a destination. Every day offers a new opportunity to practice self-control, to refine your character, and to grow closer to the person you aspire to be. Are you ready to take that step? What changes can you make today to begin mastering your desires and emotions? The choice is yours, and the potential for growth is limitless. Embrace the journey and discover the strength that lies within you. Lesson 4. Cultivating Inner Virtue. In a world that constantly tests our resolve and challenges our character, the quest for an unshakable spirit becomes not just a lofty goal but a necessity. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this: and you will find strength, said Marcus Aurelius. In the Stoic tradition, this strength is cultivated through the practice of inner virtue, the bedrock of an undefeatable character. At the core of Stoicism lies the cultivation of inner virtue, which is the foundation upon which an undefeatable character is built. The Stoics understood that true happiness and enduring strength come from living a life rooted in virtue, specifically the four cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These virtues are not lofty, unattainable ideals, but practical, everyday principles that should govern our thoughts, decisions, and actions. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, often reflected on the importance of living in accordance with these virtues, recognizing that they were the key to inner peace and resilience. It is through wisdom that we gain the clarity to see things as they are, through courage that we confront our fears, through justice that we treat others fairly, and through temperance that we maintain balance in the face of excess. By prioritizing these virtues over the pursuit of external success, we create a character that remains resilient no matter what life throws our way. When virtue becomes your guiding compass, you are able to navigate through life's inevitable challenges with integrity and a sense of purpose. The Stoics teach us that it is not the external circumstances that define our character, but rather how we respond to them. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This highlights the importance of focusing on our internal responses rather than being consumed by external events. When we live virtuously, we anchor our sense of worth and contentment in something that is within our control, our own actions and attitudes. As a result, external circumstances lose their power to disturb our inner peace. Whether facing adversity, failure, or even success, a person grounded in virtue remains steady, knowing that their true value lies not in what happens to them but in how they choose to act. The Stoics remind us that cultivating virtue is a lifelong practice, one that requires daily reflection and effort. It is not enough to simply understand these principles. They must be lived and embodied in every aspect of our lives. Epictetus, a former slave who became one of the most influential Stoic teachers, emphasized the importance of daily practice in building a strong character. He advised, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This means that to build an undefeatable character, we must consistently align our actions with the virtues we wish to embody. This practice transforms virtue from an abstract concept into a lived reality, making it the cornerstone of our character. In modern life, where we are often bombarded with distractions, temptations, and pressures to conform, the practice of inner virtue is more important than ever. The world around us may encourage us to seek success, wealth, and recognition at any cost, but the Stoic path offers a different approach. It calls us to focus on what truly matters: our character, our actions, and our inner peace. By cultivating virtue, we protect ourselves from the fleeting and often superficial nature of external achievements. As Marcus Aurelius noted, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." This quote reminds us that true strength lies in maintaining our virtue, regardless of how others may act. By doing so, we rise above the pettiness of the world and remain true to our higher selves. Furthermore, the cultivation of inner virtue not only strengthens our character, but also enhances our relationships with others. A virtuous person is one who acts with justice, fairness, and compassion, qualities that naturally foster trust and respect. In a world where many relationships are transactional or based on superficial values, a person who lives by Stoic principles stands out as a beacon of integrity. This, in turn, attracts others who share similar values and leads to more meaningful and lasting connections. Living a life guided by inner virtue also prepares us to face the inevitable hardships of life with grace and resilience. The Stoics were no strangers to suffering. They lived in times of war, political turmoil, and personal loss. Yet, they found that by focusing on their inner virtues, they could endure even the most difficult circumstances without losing their sense of self. As Seneca wisely said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. This perspective is invaluable in modern life, where challenges are plentiful and often unavoidable. By cultivating inner virtue, we build the mental and emotional fortitude needed to face life's challenges head-on, without being defeated by them. The cultivation of inner virtue is the foundation of an undefeatable character. It is through the consistent practice of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance that we build a life of true strength and resilience. The Stoics offer us a timeless guide to navigating the complexities of modern life, reminding us that our greatest power lies not in controlling external events, but in mastering our own character. By embracing the Stoic path and prioritizing inner virtue, we can create a life that is not only fulfilling but also immune to the ups and downs of fortune. As we move forward, let us remember the words of Marcus Aurelius. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. By cultivating virtuous thoughts and actions, we dye our souls with the colors of wisdom and strength, building a character that is truly undefeatable. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. I appreciate you taking the time to explore these timeless principles with me. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What is one challenge you faced recently where you applied, or could have applied, Stoic principles to build resilience? Feel free to share your experiences or any questions you have in the comments below. If you're not sure what to write, you could start with something like, "A situation where I could apply Stoic principles is..." I'm looking forward to reading your responses and continuing the conversation. Lesson 5. Transforming challenges into opportunities. In the journey of life, each of us encounters obstacles that seem insurmountable, challenges that test our patience, resilience, and resolve. But what if these very challenges were the secret to building an undefeatable character? The Stoics, masters of transforming adversity into opportunity, believed that true strength lies in how we respond to the inevitable difficulties that life throws our way. The key to this transformation is the practice of gratitude, a principle that might seem counterintuitive when you're in the thick of a struggle but is, in fact, the most powerful tool in your arsenal. Think if you're facing a significant challenge at work, perhaps a project that seems doomed from the start, or a conflict with a colleague that saps your energy and enthusiasm. The natural reaction might be frustration, anxiety, or even despair. But the Stoics teach us to view this situation through a different lens. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most revered Stoic philosophers, advised seeing every difficulty not as a burden, but as an opportunity for growth. What if, instead of lamenting over the obstacles, you started to see them as teachers, guiding you toward a stronger, more resilient self? Gratitude, in the Stoic sense, goes beyond merely being thankful for the good times. It's about acknowledging the value in the hardships that come your way. When you begin to appreciate the lessons hidden within the struggles, you shift your mindset from one of victimhood to one of empowerment. You're no longer at the mercy of circumstances. Instead, you become the architect of your destiny, using each challenge as a building block for a more robust character. Take, for instance, the story of Sarah, a young entrepreneur who faced a series of setbacks when launching her first business. Her product, which she had poured her heart and soul into, failed to gain traction in the market. Faced with mounting debts and dwindling confidence, Sarah could have easily succumbed to despair. However, instead of viewing her situation as a failure, she chose to practice gratitude. She recognized the lessons in her struggle, the importance of market research, the need for resilience, and the value of adaptability. Through this lens, each setback became a stepping stone, guiding her to refine her approach and ultimately leading to the success of her second venture. Sarah's story is a testament to the power of gratitude in transforming challenges into opportunities for growth. When you start to see life's challenges as opportunities for self-improvement, you cultivate a sense of purpose and optimism. Each difficulty becomes a chance to strengthen your character, to develop virtues like patience, resilience, and wisdom. This shift in perspective is not about denying the pain or frustration that comes with adversity. It's about choosing to focus on what you can gain from the experience rather than what you have lost. It's about asking yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this challenge make me stronger? This practice of gratitude in adversity doesn't just make you more resilient. It also fosters a deeper sense of fulfillment. When you acknowledge the value in your struggles, you begin to appreciate the journey itself, not just the destination. This mindset allows you to navigate life's ups and downs with greater ease, knowing that each challenge is shaping you into a stronger, wiser person. But how do you cultivate this kind of gratitude, especially when you're in the midst of a tough situation? Start by reframing your thoughts. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" This simple shift can open up new perspectives and help you see the silver lining in even the darkest clouds. You can also practice keeping a gratitude journal, where you note down not just the good things that happen to you, but also the challenges and the lessons they bring. Over time, this practice can rewire your brain to focus on the positive aspects of every situation, making gratitude a natural response to adversity. Another powerful tool is to surround yourself with reminders of your past successes and the challenges you've overcome. When you face a new obstacle, these reminders can serve as evidence that you've faced difficulties before and emerged stronger. They can help you maintain a sense of perspective and remind you that every challenge is temporary and that you have the strength to overcome it. As we navigate through life, we have a choice in how we respond to the difficulties we encounter. We can see them as unfair burdens that weigh us down, or we can view them as opportunities to grow and strengthen our character. The Stoics chose the latter, and in doing so, they developed an undefeatable character, a mindset that could not be shaken by the vicissitudes of life. By practicing gratitude, especially in times of adversity, we too can cultivate this resilience and transform our challenges into stepping stones toward a stronger, more fulfilled self. So, the next time life throws a curveball your way, pause and ask yourself, what is this challenge trying to teach me? How can I use this experience to grow? In doing so, you'll find that no obstacle is insurmountable, no challenge too great. Instead, each one becomes a unique opportunity to build an undefeatable character, one that is resilient, wise, and ever grateful for the journey. And that, in the end, is the essence of living a life rooted in Stoic principles, a life where every challenge is a chance to grow, and every moment is an opportunity to practice gratitude. Lesson 6. Detaching from outcomes. The wisdom of the Stoics, especially as taught by great philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, offers us a timeless approach to inner peace and resilience. At its core, Stoicism teaches that while we should indeed give our best effort in any endeavor, the outcome is often beyond our control. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, advised, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." What does this mean in our day-to-day lives? It means that while you can control your actions, your intentions, and your effort, the results of those actions are shaped by countless factors beyond your influence. Factors like other people's decisions, unexpected events, and sheer luck. So, why let those things dictate your happiness or peace of mind? Let's dive a little deeper. Consider any goal you've set for yourself. You may want to succeed in your career, build a thriving business, or have fulfilling relationships. Naturally, you'll work hard, plan meticulously, and invest your energy into these pursuits. But here's where the Stoic wisdom comes into play. You must remember that no matter how much effort you put in, the final outcome is not entirely up to you. There are external forces at play, market conditions, the behavior of others, timing, and even unforeseen circumstances that can alter the course of events. If you tie your happiness or sense of success solely to the outcome, you are setting yourself up for disappointment and frustration. What happens if things don't go as planned? What if, despite your best efforts, the promotion doesn't come through, the business venture fails, or the relationship ends? Will you let these outcomes dictate your self-worth? Now think about how much anxiety, stress, and even despair comes from worrying about results. We often become so attached to the idea of success as we define it that the mere thought of not achieving it fills us with dread. But the Stoics offer us a liberating perspective. Detach from the outcome. This doesn't mean you should become indifferent or apathetic. Far from it. Stoicism encourages you to care deeply about what you do, to pour your heart and soul into your actions, but to simultaneously understand and accept that the results are not yours to control. Epictetus, another prominent Stoic philosopher, said, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." By shifting your focus from the outcome to the effort, you free yourself from the chains of fear and anxiety that can paralyze you. Imagine what you could achieve if you weren't afraid of failing. If the fear of not reaching a certain outcome didn't hold you back, you would take more risks, pursue your passions more boldly, and face challenges head-on. This mindset of detachment is not about giving up. It's about giving your all without being crushed by the weight of expectation. It's about saying, "I will do my best, and whatever happens, happens." In doing so, you cultivate a mental resilience that makes you undefeatable because your peace of mind no longer hinges on success or failure. Let's bring this idea closer to home with a practical example. Imagine you're preparing for a job interview for a position you've always wanted. You've done the work. You've researched the company, honed your skills, practiced your answers. You walk into that interview room ready to give it your all. Now, a typical response might be to feel an intense need to secure that job, to view getting the job as the only successful outcome. But what if you approached it the Stoic way? What if you went into that interview with the mindset that your goal is to present yourself in the best way possible, to communicate your value clearly, and to engage sincerely with the interviewers? The outcome, whether you get the job or not, is secondary. By focusing on what you can control, which is your performance in the interview, and accepting that the decision is ultimately not in your hands, you alleviate the pressure. This mindset not only reduces anxiety, but also allows you to perform at your best without the burden of fear. Now let's take a moment to reflect. What would happen if you applied this approach to all areas of your life? How would your experience of work, relationships, and personal goals change if you focused more on your actions and less on the results? Would you feel freer, more courageous, perhaps even more content? These are important questions to ask yourself as you consider how to integrate Stoic principles into your daily life. As you reflect on this, remember that detaching from outcomes doesn't mean giving up on your dreams or lowering your standards. Instead, it's about maintaining your standards while releasing the need to control what is beyond your control. This is a powerful distinction. It's about realizing that your worth and your happiness are not determined by whether you achieve a specific outcome, but by the quality of the effort you put into your endeavors. The Stoic approach to life empowers you to take bold actions without being bogged down by the fear of failure. It encourages you to live fully, to pursue your goals passionately, and to accept the outcomes with grace, knowing that you've done your best. In closing, consider this. What if the true measure of success isn't the outcome itself, but the integrity, effort, and resilience you bring to every situation? What if, by detaching from outcomes, you could find a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment, regardless of what life throws your way? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By adopting the Stoic practice of detaching from outcomes, you're not just building an undefeatable character, you're also cultivating a mind that remains serene and strong, no matter what challenges arise. So, the next time you face a situation where the outcome is uncertain, ask yourself, have I done my best? If the answer is yes, then let go of the rest and trust that whatever happens, you'll remain steadfast and at peace. That's the Stoic way. Lesson 7. Reflecting on mortality. Memento mori. This ancient Stoic principle, the reflection on mortality, is not about dwelling on death, but about enriching the way we live. Now, Let's explore how contemplating our own mortality can shape an undefeatable character, empowering us to navigate modern life with clarity, purpose, and resilience. To build a character that can withstand the trials of life, one must first confront the inevitability of death. The Stoics, wise philosophers of the ancient world, understood that by facing our mortality head-on, we are not led to despair, but to a profound sense of clarity and focus. Marcus Aurelius, the revered Roman emperor, frequently reminded himself of the fleeting nature of life, a practice that is encapsulated in the Latin phrase memento mori, meaning, remember that you will die. This practice, far from being morbid, was a tool to sharpen his awareness, to keep his priorities straight, and to live each day with a sense of purpose and urgency. When we truly grasp the brevity of life, the trivial concerns that often consume us lose their power. We stop wasting time on petty arguments, meaningless distractions, and the pursuit of superficial goals. Instead, we start to see life for what it truly is, a series of precious moments that we must use wisely. As Seneca, another great Stoic philosopher, advised, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." By integrating the practice of memento mori into our daily lives, we become more attuned to what really matters: our relationships, our personal growth, and the legacy we wish to leave behind. Reflecting on mortality is not about living in fear of death. It's about living fully in the present. The knowledge that our time is limited urges us to act with intention, to make decisions that align with our true values, and to pursue goals that bring genuine fulfillment. In today's fast-paced world, where we are often tempted to chase after every fleeting trend or distraction, memento mori serves as a grounding force, pulling us back to what is essential. It helps us to strip away the inessential and to focus our energy on what will truly matter in the end. This practice also cultivates resilience. When we accept that death is a natural part of life, we are less likely to be paralyzed by fear or anxiety. Instead, we develop a courageous mindset, ready to face challenges head-on, knowing that we have nothing to lose except the time we waste. Epictetus, another Stoic sage, taught that death is nothing dreadful, but the dread of it is dreadful. By contemplating our mortality, we reduce this dread, and in doing so, we free ourselves to live with a bold and fearless spirit. In modern life, where we are bombarded with messages that encourage us to seek comfort, avoid pain, and deny the reality of aging and death, the practice of memento mori stands in stark contrast. It invites us to embrace discomfort, to acknowledge the inevitability of our end, and to use this awareness as a powerful motivator for living a life of meaning and depth. This perspective shift can transform how we approach our daily lives, helping us to become more mindful, more present, and more determined to make each moment count. Moreover, reflecting on mortality helps us cultivate gratitude. When we recognize that our days are numbered, we begin to appreciate the simple joys that we often take for granted: a warm conversation with a loved one, the beauty of a sunset, or the satisfaction of a job well done. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. This urgency to be good drives us to act with integrity, kindness, and compassion, knowing that our time to make a positive impact is limited. By keeping the reality of death in our minds, we are better equipped to navigate the challenges of modern life with a calm and steady demeanor. The daily stresses that once seemed overwhelming become manageable when viewed through the lens of memento mori. We learn to detach from outcomes, understanding that much of what we worry about is beyond our control and ultimately insignificant in the grand scheme of things. This detachment is not apathy but a clear-sighted acceptance of life as it is, a practice that fortifies our character and makes us unshakable in the face of adversity. As we move forward in our journey to build an undefeatable character, let us take to heart the wisdom of the Stoics. Let us remember that life is fleeting, that our time here is limited, and that we must use it wisely. By embracing the practice of memento mori, we can cultivate a life of purpose, resilience, and deep fulfillment. In the words of Epictetus, "He who is not every day conquering some fear has not learned the secret of life." Let this reflection on mortality empower us to conquer our fears, to live boldly, and to build a character that remains unshaken, no matter what life throws our way. Lesson 8. Developing Patience. In a world where everything seems to move at lightning speed, patience can feel like an outdated virtue, something reserved for times long past. Yet when we look to the Stoics, we discover that patience is far from obsolete. It's a cornerstone of an undefeatable character. The Stoics understood patience not merely as the act of waiting, but as the profound ability to endure adversity with grace and without succumbing to frustration or complaint. This is a far cry from the passive waiting we often associate with patience today. It's about active endurance, facing life's challenges head-on with a calm mind and an unshakable spirit. Consider Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who faced unimaginable pressures and difficulties throughout his reign. Despite the burdens of leadership and the constant threat of war, he maintained a remarkable level of patience. In his meditations, he often reminded himself that obstacles are a natural part of life's course, not something to be feared or resented. He saw every difficulty as an opportunity to practice patience and grow stronger in the process. When faced with challenges, he would tell himself to embrace them, to see them as tests of his resilience and character. This mindset allowed him to navigate the tumultuous waters of life with a sense of calm that was both empowering and enlightening. But what does this look like in our modern lives? Imagine you're stuck in traffic, late for an important meeting, with the stress building as the minutes tick away. It's easy to let frustration take over, to start cursing the situation or blaming others. But what if instead you viewed this moment as an opportunity to practice patience? What if you accepted the traffic as a part of life's natural flow, something beyond your control, and chose to remain calm? By doing so, you not only preserve your mental well-being, but also give yourself the space to think more clearly and possibly even arrive at the meeting with your composure intact. This approach to patience isn't about suppressing your feelings or pretending everything is fine when it isn't. It's about cultivating an inner calm that allows you to face adversity without being overwhelmed by it. It's about recognizing that challenges are inevitable, but how you respond to them is entirely within your control. The Stoics believed that by developing patience, you gain the power to endure hardships with a sense of dignity and strength. This, in turn, makes your character more resilient, more steadfast, and ultimately, undefeatable. One modern story that illustrates the power of patience is that of Nelson Mandela. Imprisoned for 27 years, Mandela endured unimaginable hardship and adversity. Yet throughout his imprisonment, he maintained a remarkable level of patience. He used the time to reflect, to strengthen his resolve, and to prepare himself for the day he would be free. When that day finally came, he emerged not with bitterness or a desire for revenge, but with a calm determination to bring about change peacefully. Mandela's patience wasn't passive. It was an active, enduring strength that enabled him to transform his suffering into a source of power and influence. Now think about your own life. What challenges are you facing that require patience? How often do you find yourself frustrated or overwhelmed by situations beyond your control? What would happen if, instead of reacting with impatience or anger, you chose to embrace the challenge as a chance to develop your character? These are the moments that define us, that shape us into the people we are meant to be. The Stoics teach us that by cultivating patience, we can navigate life's adversities with grace and composure, turning potential sources of stress into opportunities for growth. So, how do you begin to develop this kind of patience? It starts with a shift in perspective. Instead of seeing challenges as obstacles, try to view them as integral parts of your journey, each one offering a lesson or an opportunity for growth. When you encounter adversity, pause and take a deep breath. Remind yourself that this too is part of life, and that you have the strength within you to endure it. Practice patience in small ways every day, whether it's waiting in line, dealing with a difficult person, or managing your own expectations. Over time, these small acts of patience will build up, strengthening your character and preparing you for the bigger challenges ahead. The key takeaway here is that patience isn't just a virtue. It's a powerful tool for building an undefeatable character. It allows you to endure hardships gracefully without being overwhelmed by stress or anxiety. It gives you the clarity to think and act decisively, even in the face of adversity. And perhaps most importantly, it teaches you that you have the power to control your response to any situation, no matter how challenging it may be. The Stoic approach to patience is about more than just enduring the storms of life. It's about embracing them, learning from them, and allowing them to forge you into a stronger, wiser, and more resilient person. So the next time you find yourself in a difficult situation, ask yourself, how can I use this moment to practice patience? How can I turn this adversity into an opportunity for growth? By doing so, you'll be taking a powerful step towards building an undefeatable character, one that can weather any storm with grace and strength. If you've made it this far, you're already on the path to building an undefeatable character. Drop a comment saying, "I am resilient," to show you're committed to embracing the Stoic way in your life. Stick around, there's so much more to learn and grow from. Lesson 9. Facing fear head-on. Picture for a moment that you are standing at the edge of a vast, dark forest. You know you must enter, but the shadows are thick, and the unknown is overwhelming. Fear grips you, holding you back, whispering all the things that could go wrong, all the dangers that might lurk within. But what if you could walk into that forest, not with trepidation, but with calm resolve? What if you could face those shadows with the confidence that comes from knowing that fear is nothing more than a product of your mind? This is the essence of the Stoic approach to fear, an approach that has been guiding people toward bravery and resilience for centuries. Stoicism, a philosophy that has withstood the test of time, teaches us that fear is not an external force. It is something we create within ourselves. The great Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Think about that for a moment. How many times have you been paralyzed by the fear of something that never actually happened? The Stoics understood that our fears are often based on imagined scenarios, inflated by our own minds to seem far more terrifying than they actually are. When we let these imagined fears control us, we give them power that they do not deserve. Marcus Aurelius, another towering figure in Stoic philosophy, offered a simple yet profound method for dealing with fear. He advised that when fear arises, we should not shy away from it, but rather confront it directly. Ask yourself, what is it that I am truly afraid of? Is this fear rational? Is it based on something real? Or is it just my mind playing tricks on me? By breaking down our fears in this way, we can see them for what they truly are, often nothing more than shadows that disappear when we shine the light of reason upon them. But confronting fear is not just about understanding it, it's about taking action in the face of it. The Stoics believed in the power of the present moment. They taught that we should not allow our minds to be consumed by what might happen tomorrow or next week, because the future is beyond our control. Instead, they urged us to focus on the here and now, to deal with the challenges that are in front of us, rather than being paralyzed by the fear of what might never come to pass. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present." So how can you apply the Stoic wisdom to your own life? Start by recognizing when fear begins to creep into your thoughts. It might be fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. Whatever it is, take a step back and ask yourself, is this fear serving me, or is it holding me back? By questioning the validity of your fears, you begin to take away their power. Remember, fear is only as strong as you allow it to be. Next, practice staying grounded in the present moment. This doesn't mean ignoring the future entirely, but rather, not letting it dominate your thoughts. The Stoics believed that the best way to prepare for the future was to handle the present with wisdom and courage. When you find yourself worrying about what might happen, bring your focus back to what you can do right now. What actions can you take today that will help you face tomorrow with more confidence? By dealing with the present effectively, you build a foundation of strength that can withstand whatever the future may bring. Another powerful Stoic tool is the concept of premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This practice involves imagining potential challenges and adversities before they happen, not to create more fear, but to prepare yourself mentally and emotionally. By envisioning the worst-case scenarios and how you would handle them, you strip them of their power to surprise and overwhelm you. This doesn't mean you dwell on negative possibilities. Rather, you acknowledge them and consider how you would respond, thereby reducing their ability to cause anxiety if they do occur. It's also important to differentiate between what you can control and what you cannot. The Stoics emphasized that we should concern ourselves only with the things that are within our control, our thoughts, our actions, our responses. Everything else, they argued, is beyond our influence and not worth our worry. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." By focusing on your reactions, rather than the external events that trigger them, you reclaim your power from fear. Let's pause here and reflect. How often do you let fear control your decisions? Do you avoid taking risks because you fear the outcome? Or do you face challenges head-on, trusting in your ability to handle whatever comes your way? The Stoics would encourage you to embrace the latter approach. By consistently confronting your fears with reason and courage, you weaken their grip on you. You become stronger, more resilient, and more capable of navigating the complexities of life with a calm and steadfast heart. Building an undefeatable character doesn't happen overnight. It is the result of consistent practice and reflection. Each time you face a fear and overcome it, you add another layer of strength to your character. You begin to see yourself not as a victim of circumstances, but as an active participant in your own life, capable of shaping your destiny through the power of your choices. This is the true power of Stoicism, the ability to face life's challenges with unwavering resolve, to rise above fear, and to build a character that is truly undefeatable. So the next time fear begins to whisper in your ear, remember the words of Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. How will you choose to face your fears? Will you allow them to control you, or will you confront them with the wisdom of the Stoics? The choice, as always, is yours. As always. Lesson 10. Building Resilience Through Adversity. As Marcus Aurelius once said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This wisdom reveals that within every obstacle lies the opportunity to build an undefeatable character. Building an undefeatable character is not about avoiding difficulties or shielding oneself from pain. It's about developing resilience, a quality the Stoics viewed as essential to living a fulfilled life. Resilience, in the Stoic sense, is the ability to endure and even thrive in the face of adversity. This concept is beautifully illustrated by Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, who often reflected on how life's challenges were not just obstacles but opportunities for growth. To Marcus, every setback was a chance to cultivate virtues such as courage, patience, and wisdom, qualities that define an undefeatable character. The Stoics believed that adversity is an inevitable part of life. Instead of resisting this truth, they encouraged embracing it. Seneca, another prominent Stoic, famously said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." This quote underscores the Stoic view that life's hardships are not to be feared or avoided, but welcomed as necessary for personal development. By facing difficulties head-on and viewing them as opportunities for growth, you shift your perspective from one of victimhood to one of empowerment. This mindset is crucial because it transforms your relationship with adversity, allowing you to see it not as something to endure, but as a valuable teacher in your life's journey. In today's fast-paced world where stress and challenges are ever present, adopting this Stoic perspective can be a game-changer. Modern life throws countless obstacles our way, whether it's a demanding job, a difficult relationship, or personal setbacks. But by applying the Stoic principle of embracing adversity, you can turn these challenges into stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. Think about it. Each time you face a difficult situation and choose to see it as an opportunity for growth, you are actively building resilience. This resilience, in turn, fortifies your character, making you stronger and more capable of facing future challenges with grace and determination. The idea of using adversity as a tool for growth is not just a philosophical concept, but a practical strategy for modern life. For instance, when you encounter a setback, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" This simple shift in questioning can lead to profound personal growth. It encourages a proactive approach to life, where you take control of your narrative rather than allowing circumstances to dictate your response. As Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, wisely noted, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This quote emphasizes the power of your mindset in shaping your reality. To further illustrate this point, consider the metaphor of a blacksmith forging a sword. The metal is repeatedly heated, hammered, and folded to create a blade that is strong and sharp. Similarly, life's adversities act as the forge, and your character is the metal. Each challenge you face and overcome hammers you into a stronger, sharper version of yourself. The heat of adversity may be uncomfortable, but it is necessary to build the resilience that defines an undefeatable character. In the context of modern life, building resilience through adversity means not shying away from challenges, but facing them with a Stoic mindset. When you encounter difficulties, remember that these are the moments that shape your character. Instead of seeking comfort or avoiding pain, recognize that true growth happens outside of your comfort zone. This doesn't mean you should seek out hardship, but when it does arrive, meet it with the understanding that it is an integral part of your personal evolution. Another key aspect of building resilience is the cultivation of inner strength. The Stoics believe that true power comes from within, from your ability to control your responses, maintain your composure, and stay true to your values, no matter what external circumstances you face. This inner strength is what allows you to remain steadfast in the face of adversity. It's what enables you to rise each time you fall, to continue striving even when the odds are against you. As Seneca put it, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Incorporating Stoic principles into your daily life can help you build this inner strength. Start by practicing mindfulness. Pay attention to your thoughts and reactions, and work on cultivating a mindset of acceptance. As we've explored today, building an undefeatable character through the principles of Stoicism involves more than just enduring life's challenges. It's about actively transforming them into opportunities for growth. By cultivating resilience, embracing the impermanence of all things, and mastering self-control, you can develop a character that not only survives the storms of life, but thrives in them. The Stoics teach us that by focusing on what we can control, living virtuously, and approaching life's inevitable challenges with patience and courage, we build a foundation that remains unshaken, no matter the circumstances. This journey isn't always easy, but it's the path to true strength and fulfillment. The constant pressure, uncertainty, and stress that many of us face can feel overwhelming. But by applying the Stoic mindset, you can find calm in the chaos and transform obstacles into stepping stones toward your personal development. This philosophy empowers you to rise above the external factors that you cannot control and focus on the inner virtues that define who you are. If you found value in these insights and are ready to take the next step on your Stoic journey, I encourage you to support our community. Please like this video and share it with friends or family members who might also benefit from these teachings. By subscribing to Stoic in Your Life, you'll join a growing group of individuals dedicated to applying Stoic wisdom to modern living. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. where we'll continue to explore how Stoicism can help you navigate the complexities of life with grace and resilience. Thank you for watching, and thank you for being a part of this journey toward building an undefeatable character. Together, we can bring the timeless wisdom of the Stoics into our daily lives and create a community of resilient, virtuous individuals. Together, we can bring the timeless wisdom of the Stoics into our daily lives and create a community of resilient, virtuous individuals.